Hi, welcome back to Be One Hope. It's been a while, it's been a minute actually, to be fair, and I'll tell you why. It's because I've been so in my feelings, and I'm like, I know I've got so many things to do, I've got a lot to achieve, and maybe in a short space of time, but do you know what, I just realized I've got to just break free and just be who I want to be. Sometimes some people say to me, how come you're doing this, or why are you doing that? I never knew that was in you, but if truth be known, it's always been in me, but I only let like close friends see, and family members and people that I totally trust. But the truth of the matter is, sharing my story, my obstacles, my pains, my burdens, the things that I've had to overcome, I'm starting to realize that more people are actually working through similar things. So the word I got from God was calamity, Calamity Jane. The Calamity Jane that I'm talking about was a film, Calamity Jane, that I used to like watching. And the reason why I like Calamity Jane the most was because of the makeovers. But I was thinking, why has God given me this word calamity, calamity, calamity? So I prayed about it, I've been thinking about it, and I really wanted to kind of tease away. So first of all, Calamity Jane, my favourite part of the movie was just how I think her name's Doris Day. She went and she did a total makeover, and she was a bit of a tomboy, which I can totally relate to, because growing up as a child I was a bit tomboyish, and I was always known for being quite skilled in sports at running, and I always kind of how do I say it? I was proud. Yeah, I was proud of the fact that I was quite fast, and I could practically beat most of the boys that run in my estate. Not all of them, as somebody pointed out to me, but most of them. So yeah, I was quite agile. So this film had so many references for me, where Calamity Jane, Doris Day in the movie was very boisterous, you know, just gun-ho kind of thing. But then as time went on, and being in COVID, a lot of people's been doing house improvements and decorating. I started doing up the garden and pruning and weeding, and I was getting the jet wash, and I was like, you know, cleaning up the back garden. No, the front, yeah, back garden and front garden. And as I was cleaning out the back garden and the front garden, I was also cleaning out things in my soul and in my spirit, areas that I had been neglected and that I hadn't quite dealt with. So I coming into lockdown, had a lot of areas that had been neglected, had been broken, hadn't been maintained, hadn't been looked after. And this whole period has been really good, because it's been an opportunity to almost clean up my soul, clean up all of the muck inside it. So it's been literally a time of just being really honest, the naked truth, dealing with things that I haven't dealt with, speaking about things, and just healing. You know, this whole COVID period has been really good, because even though I pride myself as not walking in falsehood, I've been nothing but false. Total fake. I've convinced myself and lied to myself on so many things. So it's been really nice to really examine some of those areas. And to be honest with you, my life, especially my love life, calamity. It's just been like Calamity Jane as well. Just always in the wrong relationships, always making poor choices. And the thing is, sometimes as a Christian, and now like born again believer, following Christ, trying to walk through my daily thing, trying to forgive, trying to be humble, trying to make positive choices. Sometimes you don't make positive choices, because we're human. We're gonna sin. We're gonna fall short of the glory. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is sinless. So my thing is, sometimes when we do mess up and we make poor choices, and if you haven't got trustworthy people around you to keep you accountable and to help you make better choices, it can be difficult. It can be it could be a lonely place when you're trying to make right what's gone wrong, and just kind of like walk through those things. But the thing is, the God that I serve he's mighty and he is powerful, because there's no way before post-COVID I could sit here and start talking to you about my mess and the things that God's helped me with. So much so, yesterday I was able to participate in a church service in the open air in the park, and afterwards it was my pastor. It was not my pastor, but my friend Marcus, who is now a pastor, so I call him Pastor Marcus. I was able to participate in his birthday celebrations, and he was 46, and we had church outside, and he kind of said, you know, back in the days he wouldn't have been able to stand where he was and say what he was saying, but when you listen to him, the boldness that comes out of Pastor Marcus is phenomenal, because he stood there and he said, you know what, in Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And he's able to do what he does because God is with him. God says he will never leave us nor forsake us. So for me, my journey is just constantly, yeah, my life might have been a calamity, but I always see my life as a Job. If you know the book of Job, Job lost everything and he went through a horrid time because Satan was just like, no wonder Job's doing well, God, because you allow all of these blessings, everything's protected, he's protected. Let me go and trouble, let me go and fast with your servant Job. And honestly, I feel like Satan must have asked God for permission to come and fast with Natasha, because the amount of calamities that I've been through, just one after another. But you know what? I thank God for everything, because if I didn't go through all of those things, I wouldn't have the anointing that I do have. I wouldn't have the perspective that I do have. At the time, it didn't feel nice. The training and the discipline was horrid. It was horrid. There's no other words for it. But I thank God for all of that discipline and that hardship, because if it just helps one person overcome something, then it would have been worth it. And I'm learning as I go along. So my encouragement to you is, don't worry about how messed up your life might have been, how messed up your life is still now, because there is hope. Doesn't matter what calamity, what disaster. In Psalm 91, me and my cousin and a very good friend of mine, we have this Psalm 91 club in the morning, and we try to memorize that. And says, gosh, it just really talks about God's, if you dwell in his presence, you know, you have nothing to worry about, because God is your refuge and your fortress, and he will protect you from the snare of the pestilence, from the deadly fowler and the perilous pestilence. And you know, at the beginning of post-COVID, I just couldn't even think about certain things, but the way God is definitely protecting and covering and blessing us is just such a blessing. When I used to be really like depressed and down and low, I was thinking about the times where I'd love to just be wrapped up in my duvet, just recovering from illness, or just, you know, bad week, bad day at office, bad day at work. And to know that God covers us with his feathers. You know, when you got one of them nice feathered quilts, them nice ones, and you're just like, oh, this feels so good. I don't want to get out of my bed. That's how God covers us. He covers us under his wing. You know, like how a chick protects, or a hen, a mother hen protects his young, or her young, should I say. Or even, yeah, how a man would protect his young. That's what God does for us. So, guys, doesn't matter about your past, about the calamity, the mess, because you can't fix it, but Jesus can. And with God's help, you can fix it. So, be blessed. And I hope to come back sooner. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's given me some really positive feedback, some really nice, encouraging testimonies about how they're experiencing similar things. If there's any topics that you think I could cover, because really and truthfully, I'm just waiting on the Lord. If God puts something in my spirit and I can run with it and I can develop it and work with it, then I will use it. But until that time, please message me. Those of you who can just drop a quick email, instant messenger on the YouTube clip below, or even WhatsApp, because I really appreciate your feedback, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm going to be saying today or how this is going to work, but by God's grace, I give God all the honor, all the glory. So create a little bit of heaven on planet Earth for yourself by doing what's right, standing firm. God will do the rest. Stay blessed.